Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Welcome back to another Cities Skylines episode. My name is Sports Monkey, and we are back here in my YouTube series, Kelly Creek. And for today, I would like to build a waterfall. So I'd like to show you guys how to build a waterfall in Cities Skylines. So what we need to do is we need to create Niagara Falls. So as you can tell, this lake is slowly, well, we should call it a crater. Okay, it's more or less a crater, but this crater is slowly filling up, and we need to create a place for a waterfall. So what I'm going to do is I'd like to actually create the waterfall right in this area, and we want it to drop. Let me grab an editing tool so you guys can at least see what I'm saying. See, now you can see this red dot. So I'd like to have the waterfall go in this vicinity right here and go fall down. Yes, kind of like Niagara Falls. If you haven't seen my Niagara Falls video, check that out. And then I would like to have it slope down, go underneath the highway, and then go off into this river. So that is our game plan for today. And the water is slowly rising. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to lower this brush a teeny tiny bit. And so what we're going to do is I would actually like to flatten this a little bit. Or use the, actually, I lied. We're going to soften the terrain a little bit over here. So just soften it so it's not as bumpy, and it's going to be easier to work with when we're building a waterfall. Or building, I don't know. We're creating a waterfall. We're not really building it. We're creating it from nature. Like, see this? Like, it is filling up. So what we need to do is we actually need a fall zone. I don't know if that makes sense. But we need to undo that. Control Z. So we need a place where the water can actually go down. So if I can just do a little, we're just trying to go down a little bit. So I'm right clicking a little bit at a time. Just a little bit of a valley. There you go. Okay, so this is one of the places where water is going to go through, and it's going to go down our waterfall. So I would actually like to build one more of those. So let's just keep it. That should be good enough. So let's soften that terrain. That's actually pretty wide. Yeah, that's actually going to be pretty wide. So I'm actually okay with that. We probably need to put it a little bit deeper. So let's go a little bit deeper. And when you are building this waterfall and you're using the terrain editor, it's going to be very touch and go and temperamental. So make sure you're not like holding down that, when you're using the terrain editor, don't go crazy. So watch, I'm going to hold it for 2 seconds. 1, 2. That's what you get for 2 seconds of holding down the left click. So let's not do that. All right, so now that we have our little zone where, this is where our water is going to go down, we need to create an area where the water is actually going to fall. So I want to make this a little bit bigger, and we do need a splash zone. So if anybody's ever seen Niagara Falls in general, if you haven't, check out my vlog from Niagara Falls from the 4th of July weekend, and you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about waterfall wise. So now that we have kind of this little zone over here, we're going to soften over here. So see, this is kind of like a cliff of water, and it's going to run down it, and it should run down it really nicely. So I'm going to soften this terrain over here, and we need to have a little bit of a pool, like where it can kind of stack up. Whoa, and there we go. All right, so we're gonna so we wanted to go down all the way over here. So like I said, I wanted to have a pocket. Okay, there you go. That's a little bit better. I kind of softened the terrain too much. Now what we need to do is we need to create a river. So now down here is where all the water is going to pool up that falls down our waterfall. And we need to create a tiny, now I am going to soften the terrain, so don't worry. Now we're just creating our own little, honestly, this is our own little river. I mean, we're creating our own little river, and we need to get it all the way down to, we need it to connect to this river over here. So just remember, I don't think, I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't think trees are in, well, I mean, sometimes trees do fall into lakes, but yeah, we need to keep going and dig this trench. I don't think the trees were gonna be very helpful. So just make sure we continue to dab, dab, dab. Just keep dabbing it. I know that sounds weird, but let's just keep dabbing that button and just connect it to here. There you go. So now what we're gonna do, so you're gonna see water eventually go in to the river, and there we go. So see how it's slanting downwards. So this is basically gonna be one falls that's going straight down, and it's gonna look really good. So let's actually use the soften the terrain, and just to make it a little less harsh, like that little hole is a little harsh. Over here is a little harsh. Just kind of tidy up a little bit. So what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to fast forward this, like eventually, not now, but the we need the lake to actually get a little bit deeper, and that's the problem. We're waiting on the lake. You know what I realized? Since the lake is kind of, let's hit Control Z. The problem also might be is the lake, that was horrible. Wow, sports monkey. Anyways, one of the main problems could be that the lake over here is not as tall. So I'm gonna just add a little bit of depth, and we're not gonna. There you go. Can we go over here too? Okay, good. Okay, we just need to make sure that I didn't want the water overflowing over here, because remember, we want it to go down this valley. And we don't want to do that. So we want it to go down this valley, and eventually it will get there. So what we can do while we're also waiting on that is we can actually add some cool items that wrong sports monkey, that was bad. Anyways, what we can do is we can add these rocks. So the problem is right now, what is that? Oh, that's actually our metro. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna wait and fast forward it, and we can do some editing with these rocks. There's a YouTube channel called Will CS, and he actually was the one that did this video where he added rocks at the bottom of a river. So we are actually gonna start to do that once we get water. So actually we do have water over here, so I can actually use that as an example. So these rocks that you get from the Cities Skylines, from the Steam workshop, you can actually see how it's actually floating right now in the water, or in the air. So see, look, it is a floating rock. So you do have to use the move it tool. So I'm going to move it closer over here. Then you have to use the page down button and kind of place it gently in place. And now I'm going to do this a bunch of other times, but this is just an idea for you guys to actually, make your rivers look like they're legitimate rivers. And because there are technically rocks that are, get that a little closer, that actually do go on the side of rivers, and you could get them nice and deep. Like, look at how we connected that, and that rock is nice and deep, and you can spin the rocks to where, you can just basically connect them up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add more of these rocks, and I'm going to wait till our Niagara Falls is actually in place, and that we don't, basically I'm just going to wait till the water actually starts going down Niagara Falls. And we're just, like I said, we're waiting on this lake, and it is slowly filling in, and, I'll be right back, guys. Basically, I don't want you guys to wait. Be right back. Okay guys, so now that we have Niagara Falls with rushing water, what we're going to do is we reinforce some of the edges. Then we decided to start to add rocks. Now there's different rocks that you can actually use for this build. So you can use the generic rocks like I'm doing against the walls of our river, or like, where the falls go down. I don't know the exact word. Cascade, there we go. The water cascades down, and basically it goes into a reservoir, and essentially we're just adding rocks and detailing around it. So again, these are the generic rocks that you can just add, and it just adds kind of a really nice touch to it. Again, there's really no rhyme or reason, but we're not thinking like, oh, well, we can place these down individually. Now, we do have the rocks that also you can download from the Cities Skylines Steam Workshop, and you can actually place them individually. I'm not a huge fan of that, but that's just me. And then towards the end, I decided to add trees again because guess what? You know, the waterfall surrounded by trees, you know, it looks really, really, really nice. So guys, we are back from doing all the rock work. You know, we did all the nitty gritty rock work, and I just want to show you guys the end result of Niagara Falls. And overall, I would say that this turned out really, really nice. It is kind of hard to kind of harness that water from going all over the place. So that's why that rock reinforcement was really key, because otherwise our water from our lake above would be going all over the place. So essentially what I did was those rocks, you know, on top of, you know, the side walls, they kept that water in place. It's kind of like using the Q walls, just keeping the water in place and it's not flooding all over the place. As I'm reviewing also, again, while I'm rendering through this, I did use the generic rocks. If you did skip the rendering part, I did use generic rocks and I just kind of click them along the edge. It gave it a real nice realistic view. It just made it look a lot nicer. A lot of times rivers and stuff like this, you know, living in Niagara Falls, around Niagara Falls, you definitely see a lot of rocks that are coming out of the river. You see different formations. So this is a very realistic looking, you know, kind of the bottom of the falls. And you can also see that you can individually place certain rocks. Again, I mentioned this before, but these rocks that you downloaded are in the Steam Workshop. Basically, it's in the Cities Skylines Steam Workshop. So definitely download them. They look great. I just don't have the patience to actually individually place them all over the place. I don't know if that's lazy. You can call it lazy or whatever you want it to be, but you know, those rocks look fantastic. They just take a while to plug in. As you can tell, you can adjust the height. You can adjust where they are. You know, just overall, though, this whole build just looks awesome. And I'm very happy, and it's very different. I've never tried this before. So in the comment section, guys, please let me know if it looks stupid, good, bad, if I should have changed anything. Should the falls been deeper, like the, you know, like a sharper angle where it's more fallsy instead of like a river? Just let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. I greatly appreciate you guys watching. If again, if you like it, hit that like button. If you hate it, hit that dislike button, and please remember to subscribe to all my future content. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.